A point in the bag against Atlanta United that saw Kyle Smith hit the back of the net in front of our home faithful. He joins us live in studio. Orlando Soccer Insider starts right now. Hey there, and welcome into our Orlando Health Studios. I'm your host, Gabrielle Amado, flanked by the man, the myth, the Orlando City legend, Miguel Gallardo. And Miguel, it was yet another rivalry match, this time a 1-1 draw against Atlanta United. Orlando City did very well for a majority of the match, unfortunately conceding that goal in the 86th minute.
Yeah, of course, it's unfortunate to give up a goal towards the end of the game, but I always like to stay with the positives. And the positive in this game is that Orlando controlled the game. They were dominant. They had most of the possession. They had most of the volume in terms of opportunities. And it wasn't until the 85th minute that Pedro Galese had to make his first save in the game. So that tells you a little bit about the story of the game. That being said, we talked about in a couple shows before that their ability to close out matches has to be better. But when you get a point, even if it's at home, you keep building momentum, you stay undefeated against a team that has been doing things really well, and they have some really important players like Thiago Almada.
You're absolutely right. And I spoke to Antonio Carlos ahead of the match, and he said that really the goal was to put together a complete performance, which they almost did. They were very strong up until that 86th minute goal that was conceded. So unfortunately, it's going to be a point for the Lions, but next up for them is the Red Bulls. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but we want to highlight the goal scorer, Miguel, Kyle Smith, who hit the back of the net, his first goal this season in Major League Soccer. It earned him not only another star on our Heineken Silver Star of the Match power rankings, he now joins this list of talents, but also earned him a spot on the MLS Team of the Match Day. And it's always an honor to be on that list. And welcome into the Orlando Insider Report presented by Orlando Health. Kyle Smith joins us in studio, the goal scorer this weekend. Talk us through that goal because it was quite the finish.
Thank you. Yes, Ivan, went down the left side, I believe, and then he evaded his defender very well. Put in, I believe, a ball to Mauricio. Mauricio one-touched the Urchin, and then it kind of just pinball from there. I think Paco tried to shoot it, and it bounced perfectly to me. I tried to keep it low, and fortunately, it went between his legs.
Yeah. But there's something to be said about being at the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. And you don't often say that a fullback from the opposite side is inside the box at the right place at the right time, but you were. How did that happen? Mm-hmm. Was that something tactical that you guys worked on? Is that something that you've been trying to do? Tell me that process there.
I think it's just, getting in the box and seeing where the space is and then filling in that space. So if the ball does pop out, I'm in that space where I can attack the ball and get the shot off.
Now you get a goal versus Atlanta United. Your first goal in Major League Soccer was against Atlanta United, and you've said that the rivalry means a lot to you. So tell me how special it was because of that.
Yes, it's a big rivalry with the fans, with the teams as well. So it is very special for me. I'm just happy, I could help the team.
Yeah, I don't think Exploria Stadium gets quite as loud as it usually does when Kyle Smith scores. The fans absolutely love you, Kyle. Twitter blew up, the accountants, all of the puns. I absolutely love it. What does it mean for you to not only score against Atlanta, but to score against the home with the home supporters supporting you as well?
Yeah, it makes it more fun because I get to celebrate with them. They're always cheering me on. They're cheering the team on super loud. So it's a rewarding feeling to get to score in Exploria Stadium.
Let's talk about your ability to play in different roles, right? And I think that brings a lot of value for you as a player, that Oscar Pareja calls you el soldado, the soldier, because you're there whenever he needs you. How difficult is that? How do you mentally prepare for that, right? Because I would imagine when you look into a season, you're thinking, right, I'm going to do a great job as a right back, yet you may end up playing left back or maybe left center back at times. So how difficult is it to adapt to those different roles that you have to play within the team?
Yeah, I think it is difficult, but I think I've also, developed it over my career by playing different positions and just gaining experience in those different positions. And I think now it's just kind of watching film and then learning when I'm in those situations what I need to do and what not to do.
Do you watch a particular player, like, maybe from a higher profile league that you're like, so some of the things I would like to mimic?
So when I was coming up trying to make a professional team, I would watch Tony Cruz all the time. And he just plays so simple. He switches the field very well.
Yeah.
He's great.
You've evolved not just as a person, but your tattoo collection has evolved as well. What's the newest one and what's the latest one that you've gotten?
So I got the fish.
Oh, what's the meaning behind the fish?
So there's an ancient Japanese story. I don't know if you are familiar, but it's basically all the koi fish are swimming upstream, and it kind of represents like determination. And the one koi fish that makes it up the stream turns into the golden dragon. So,
amazing. I was wondering
I'm getting one.
You're getting a koi fish as well?
I'm not a good swimmer, so I probably won't be the first one up the stream, but I like the idea.
You're talking about kind of hobbies. I was wondering if maybe the connection was that you like to fish, but no. We like to learn a lot about players and what you guys do off the pitch, obviously. What are some things that you like to do? Are you on the golf course like Miguel?
I used to be, but no, I try to stay.
He's even laughing at himself because he knows he's not very good,
Terrible.
Kyle. But what do you enjoy to do?
Yeah, I like to bowl. I like to work on my house, do projects, and yeah, I like to play volleyball as well, sand volleyball.
Oh wow! How did you get into bowling? I learned a new terminology that when you hit 3 strikes, it's called a turkey.
You turkey people.
I thought that the proper terminology was that you turkey people, but I don't think that's right, Kyle.
Well,
have you ever hit a turkey before?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course, as he does.
Quite a few times.
I don't think I've ever actually even just hit a strike once, let alone 3 in a row. So what is the proper terminology? Do you turkey someone, or do you just yell turkey when you hit 3
yell
in a row?
turkey, and I think you turkey the pins.
Oh, you turkey the pins, not the person.
If you're the victim, you say good turkey.
Good turkey.
Oh my God. Well, I guess the 3 of us are going to have to go bowling because that's clearly what's coming up. Kyle, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it. Obviously, the next opponent is going to be the New York Red Bulls up in the tri-state area. Let's look back at some past matches.
Cage like an animal. One thing holds true. When you're treated like the devil, who you gonna turn to? So won't somebody tell me, how did I get here? I woke up in a night.
Amigo Enrique, hold it. Still Enrique. Sprinting into the area, Enrique! Did everything right. Torres takes the measure and finishes down the middle. Past Carlos Coronel. And the Lions roar into a 1-0 lead.
I woke up in a nightmare.
There's the final whistle, and it's an opening day win for Orlando City.
Those hype videos always truly do get me hyped. But next up, Miguel, a trip to the tri-state area. They take on the New York Red Bulls. And we know that the Lions have been very strong away from the city beautiful. Actually, so strong that they're the best in Major League Soccer in terms of points per game. What's going to be key for all 3 points?
Well, I think first of all, recognizing that this is a game that it's going to be different. This is a New York Red Bull who fired their original coach, Gerhard. And then after that, with their interim coach until the end of the season, Troy Lesine, they were undefeated for 5 games immediately after that until their last result versus the Seattle Sounders. So even though the New York Red Bull brand is a very distinct and you know how they're going to play, there are going to be nuances that there's going to be limited data to be able to adjust to it. That being said, as I said, their style's not going to change. They're going to play direct. They're going to play, for duels. So Orlando City, when they have the ball, they're going to have to be very, very patient and recognizing the moments when they need to attack and recognizing the moments when they need to keep the ball until they see a better opportunity to penetrate.
You talk about how physical the New York Red Bulls can be just by identity. How important is it that Orlando City matches that physicality?
Yeah, this is a young team and they like to play very direct and they like to play for second ball. So as I mentioned before, the duels, the being proactive when those long balls come over the top, to be able to turn around quickly and put yourself in a good situation to be able to win those balls and then prevent any sort of attack from them. Also, when you're able to regain possession of the ball, to be able to play safe balls quickly because they're counter press, that's their style. They're okay with losing the ball, but they want to win it right after, and they're set up for that. So it's going to be very important for players to be patient, calm on the ball when they regain the possession.
And then, of course, how important is it to play a full 90? We saw Orlando City play a strong second half against Columbus. They came out of the gate very slow. And then, unfortunately, it was the reverse against NYCFC and most frequently, or most closely, against Atlanta United. So how important is it to close it out?
Yeah, I think something that's very important for Orlando is when substitutions come in, to make sure that they adapt to the game quickly, right? Because now when you change 5 players, you're essentially changing half of the team. And so there's an adaptation process that needs to happen quick for those players that coming into the game, and they have fresh legs. But as I said, understanding the flow of the game to be able to close out matches or extend leads at times or go for the goal is super important.
It is going to be key. Tune in to watch Orlando City take on the Red Bulls this weekend live on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. We're going to step away for our first break of the show, but when we come back, we're going to recap the most recent Orlando Pride match. Unfortunately, they didn't get the result that they wanted, but we have one of their stars joining us breaking down what's coming up. You won't want to miss it. Orlando Soccer Insider is presented by Orlando Health and Exploria Resorts.
For those who answer the call, the brave, the strong, for those who put others first to help protect the world around us, to create a future we all want to see, we say thank you. And for your dedication, you have our admiration. Just announced, military, all veterans, and first responders get an extra $1,000 exclusive cash on top of current offers. See your local Ford dealers today.
We're always aware of the high stakes with elite athletes.
I was thinking, will I get back to the player that I was before?
It's not that much different than the process that we take with all of our patients.
14 or 15 stress fractures. I just felt like I was missing out on life.
A patient might not be a professional athlete, but they all have a lot riding on a surgery.
After I recovered, it was amazing. I can walk pain-free.
Surgery was the best option for Robin and Katie. It got her back to doing what she loves to do, and it got him back on the field.
Welcome back into Orlando Soccer Insider. It's time to recap what happened this weekend for Orlando Pride. Unfortunately, the result did not go their way against Chicago. The final result was 1-0. And it was a frustrating night for the Pride, Miguel. They had a lot of opportunities, but it just didn't go their way.
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't get the result, but I'm a glass half full type of guy. And I like to look at the positives and I like to look at the context. And you said something very important. They hit the crossbar. Their goalkeeper, Nair, had an unbelievable game, and this is a national team caliber goalkeeper, and she really was, I think, the most important reason why they didn't concede a goal. Having said that, if I'm Seb Hines, I'm very positive about the volume of opportunities, the amount of chances they created. If I had to be picky, I'd probably be a little bit cleaner in the final third, because some of those opportunities was the goalkeeper, some of them just missing the target and just not putting it in a good area. But you got there, you got opportunities, and that's always a positive thing.
And we've seen the Pride do so well in recent weeks, thanks largely in part to the veterans that are on the team. Haley McCutcheon joins us right now. Haley, thank you so much for the time. Obviously, not the result that the team were after this weekend, but a veteran like yourself, how do you motivate this young Orlando Pride team to bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we played well in Chicago. Unfortunately, the result didn't show that, but just to reiterate that every game is so important and that we can't compound negative results. We want to keep those positive streaks going.
Haley, you guys have been doing so much better, just getting some nice results as of late, besides obviously the last one. But it's evident the chemistry, how well you guys are clicking, and the associations around the field. What do you think is the biggest difference between now and where you guys were in the first 3 or 4 matches of the season?
I think early in the season, we had to learn some hard lessons about, game management, things like that. And now that we've taken those and applied them, we've seen success. And so we've just built that confidence in ourselves.
Haley, next up for you guys is Houston, obviously a place where you spent a lot of time. You were part of that organization. Do you think that gives you a little bit of an advantage as you prepare for this upcoming match?
Yeah, I think I know the climate obviously very well. I know the tactics, and I think that I can have a little bit of insight into the players that I played with as well.
And now you guys have a long stretch on the road, very difficult in the middle of the summer, including some Challenge Cup matches. How do you guys prepare? How does this change the way you guys get ready for this upcoming matches?
I think we try to minimize that effect as much as possible. We just want to focus on one game at a time and one opponent at a time, and just give our all every single game.
And we've caught up with quite a few of your teammates. We always ask them what they like to do off the pitch. Some like to golf. We've heard all about Allie's library. What do you like to do?
I like to watch Netflix. I'm into Vanderpump Rules right now. I'll give a little plug. It's kind of sad, but a lot of Netflix, cards sometimes. The rookies love to play cards, so we do that to pass the time sometimes too.
And Haley, lastly, we like to give all of our players an opportunity to give a message to the fans. What's yours to them?
Just continue to show support. The support has been amazing thus far this year, and we want to continue to make you guys proud. So just thank you for being there for us this year.
Haley, a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for the time. We're going to be cheering you all on from afar. Orlando Pride taking on Houston this weekend. Kickoff is slated for 8:30. There is all of the tune-in information. Set your calendars. You won't want to miss this one. And Miguel, let's get into the keys to the match presented by Exploria Resorts. What's going to be key for Seb Hines and this team to get a result in Houston?
Yeah, my favorite word is bounce back ability. I love that word because it's so important, to show that resilience after a negative result, but a positive performance. So what do I mean by that is, can you take all the good things that you did in this last match versus the Chicago and apply it onto the Houston Dash and create those opportunities, have that volume, have the protagonism in the game, but can you be cleaner in the final third? Let's hope that Campbell, the goalkeeper for Houston Dash, is not bringing her A game this time.
I think if Orlando Pride, these players, this team have shown anything, it's that they are a resilient bunch, and I have no doubt that they're going to put together quite the fight in Houston this weekend. We do want to congratulate Adriana, who earned herself yet another star on our Heineken Silver Star of the Match power ranking. She now leads the pack with 3 stars to her name. And Miguel, you've been really high on what Adriana has brought. She shows it each and every match.
It's incredible, and there's no surprise that she's a national team caliber player and plays for one of the powerhouses in the world for the Brazilian national team. I'm sure her knowing she was going to come play with Marta, the best player that's ever played the game in the women's side, it's just such motivational for her. I love the positions that she takes. She's right-footed player, but she plays on the left side, coming inside and taking shots. She's a really nice player, a really good addition to the team.
We're so lucky to have her. We are going to step away for another quick break, but when we come back, 2 words, Jack Lynn. He doesn't stop scoring them for Orlando City B. We're going to show you his latest batch of goals. Once again, right after this break. Don't move.
What's a Walt Disney World thrill feel like? It's like... Howdy, partners! And like... And also like... And it feels even better together. And check this out. Florida residents can thrill with this special 4-day Disney Summer Magic ticket offer. Visit DisneyWorld.com to learn more. Disney thrills us like...
Stir up adventure in your kitchen. Add a spoonful of Spice World seasoning blends to any dish. Top it, stir it, toss it. Spice World seasoning blends. Adventure's just a spoonful away.
If new Heineken Silver was a riveting Viking saga.
Last this way, your family tortured my first wife and stole my second favorite goat. Now you want to marry my daughter. Okay.
All the taste, no bitter endings. Crisp and refreshing Heineken Silver.
Deliver yourself. The Audi Q5.
New cheesesteak from Pizza Hut. Look at all that stirred on the steak. It's seasoned, it's grilled, it's vibing with those peppers and onions. New cheesesteak from Pizza Hut. Steak night, every night.
Welcome back into Orlando Soccer Insider. It's time to recap our purple pipeline that is shining. Orlando City B taking down Inter Miami 2 last Friday. Who else? Jack Lynn on the score sheet, netting his 5th goal of the season, his 20th all-time for OCB, but he was just getting started, Miguel. He would hit the back of the net again on Memorial Day as Orlando City B took down New York Red Bull 2. They battled back, down 2-1. They ended up winning 3-2. Goals from Jack Lynn, Shaq Muhammad hitting the back of the net for the first time in purple, and Jack also forced the own goal that opened the scoring for Orlando.
Yeah, a lot of positives. Obviously, the results are good. One positive is you beat your rival down the street from Florida, and I think that's super important to keep that rivalry going. Even if it's not the first team, those guys need to feel the badge, and like Antonio Carlos likes to say to the guys, you got to really take pride there. I love the fact that Jack Lynn scored his 6th goal of the season now, making him top 3 in the stats, because it just adds confidence to him and that validity that he's a really good player and he's being patient to get that chance with the first team. And then Shaq to get that goal, number 2 draft for Orlando City in this year's Super Draft. He hasn't had a lot of participation, but to come in and score a goal. He's a young player. He's got a lot of development ahead of him, but he's a tremendously talented player. I'm really happy that he got a goal.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. We love to see Shaq open his goal-scoring account. And speaking of that, a player who's been wearing purple for quite some time, who's evolved not only as a player, but as a person as well, that's Moises Tablante. Let's get to know him a little bit better.
Yo me formé en la Hermandad Gallega de Venezuela. Era un club pues básicamente grande de mi ciudad. Pasé ahí más o menos 5 o 4 años jugando ahí en lo que era fútbol base, y después fui a Sec Sports, que ahí estuve más o menos 2 años hasta que llegué acá a Orlando en 2016. He estado acá desde hace ya 5 años acá en Orlando, en el club, y estoy muy acostumbrado a estar acá y me encanta estar acá. Sí, como futbolista he crecido mucho acá en este club y viendo a todos los jugadores que traen acá, y también he crecido muchísimo como persona, tanto adentro como fuera y dentro de la cancha. He aprendido de todo, básicamente, tanto para la vida, como el fútbol, como persona, como amigo, como hijo, como de todo. He aprendido de todo un poco, aprendo mucho acá. Pues soy un jugador rápido, zurdo, que me gusta mucho encarar, tirar centros, pegar al arco, básicamente. Bueno, de verdad es que fue todo muy rápido porque yo no, estábamos tratando de remontar el partido y era básicamente el último minuto. Entonces me acuerdo que Fabi me da la pelota y me la da mal, me giro y lo único que hice fue pensar es como que nada, tengo que patear, y pateé y todo fue muy rápido. Me gusta mucho pues jugar videojuegos, me gusta mucho pescar con mis amigos, con mi papá, me gusta mucho ir al cine, me tranquiliza muchísimo porque soy un chico muy hiperactivo, me gusta siempre estar haciendo cosas y busco cosas que hacer para calmar como que esa hiperactividad. Sí es cierto que Martín es un entrenador bastante intenso, te exige muchísimo, pero tú tienes que tener la madurez para entender que él lo hace por tu bien, pero lo hace por una buena razón. Y siempre que voy a jugar o voy a entrar al campo, siempre me dice que buena suerte, me dice que lo voy a hacer bien y que confíe en mí. Y al final su confianza me hace jugar mejor. Sí, pues tenemos un grupo bastante unido, un grupo que todos trabajamos por el mismo objetivo. Empezando por el entrenador, con los compañeros, todos trabajamos hacia el mismo objetivo y por eso tenemos un grupo bastante unido. Disfrutamos jugar juntos y nos apoyamos y siempre estamos tratando de sacar lo mejor del compañero, entonces por eso también estamos ahí.
Some great insight there from Moises Tablante. Always great to see these kids growing up and becoming better people. We'll continue with our Purple Pipeline. Speaking of the kids, the U12s, they competed at the Supercopa and they won their bracket, Miguel.
Winning, I love it. I love to see the little kids just getting that reward for their hard work. It was the first time they played 11v11 because at that age group, last year they had 2 years where they played 9v9. So to get that first experience playing in the big field for the goalkeepers is a nightmare because they're like half the size of the goal. But they adapted really well. They lost their first game against the team that they beat in the final. So to get that championship, it's going to be awesome experience for them moving forward.
And that trophy, that's no joke. So congratulations to our U12s. We hope that the winning continues this weekend for Orlando City, who take on the New York Red Bulls. Kickoff is slated for 7:30 live on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Tune into Espanol coverage because Miguel's going to be on the call. Isn't that right?
Excited about it.
You better not let us down. And also kickoff -60. Join us an hour ahead of kickoff. I'll be live from Red Bull Arena. Evan West and Paul Shaw breaking down the match. We'll reveal the starting 11 and so much more. From Miguel and I, thanks for joining us on yet another Friday night. Same time, same place next week. See you then. Orlando Soccer Insider is presented by Exploria Resorts, Orlando Health, Walt Disney World, and Ford.
Are you passionate about making the world a better place for future generations? So are we. At OUC, we're powering the future, protecting the environment, and using renewable resources so we can help spark change. By adding electric vehicle chargers throughout Orlando, we're making it easier and more convenient than ever to do the right thing. When you plug into the future and drive electric, everybody wins.
New cheesesteak from Pizza Hut. Look at all that stir on the steak. It's seasoned, it's grilled, it's vibing with those peppers and onions. New cheesesteak from Pizza Hut. Steak night, every night.
Stir up adventure in your kitchen. Add a spoonful of Spice World seasoning blends to any dish. Stir it, top it, toss it. Spice World seasoning blends. Adventure's just a spoonful away.
Whether traveling for business or pleasure, Orlando International Airport offers more choices in domestic and international destinations, conveniences, and amenities. And the choices don't stop there. MCO features over 30 airlines, expedited security screening options, and a Hyatt Regency hotel. Choices of lounges with local and national dining and shopping options as far as the eye can see. MCO, your Florida airport of choice.
For those who answer the call, the brave, the strong, for those who put others first to help protect the world around us, to create a future we all want to see, we say thank you. And for your dedication, you have our admiration. Just announced, military, all veterans, and first responders get an extra $1,000 exclusive cash on top of current offers. See your local Ford dealers today.